Hey everybody, Rebecca here for the September 2021 budget review. Coffee is in hand. I recommend that y'all get a coffee or a tea and sit down with me because, oh God, I've done some spending this month in September and y'all will see that in the budget. Thank God it was a 3-paycheck month, and thank goodness that I have some extra hours coming up for October, November, and December. And with me working every single night, I will not have the time to spend like I have spent this month. So that's going to be a good thing. It will be like a unintentional no spend, like a detox from Amazon. I think the only challenges with my murder months coming up is going to be me eating out too much, but I have done some meal prepping, so I'll try to keep that to a minimum. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my October budget plan video. I explain what crazy work schedule I have coming up. Basically, I am working every single night for 2 months straight. So yeah, it's gonna be a crazy couple of months, but that means the last quarter of 2021, my budget review should be pretty epic, and I should be able to make some real progress toward my financial goals, which is the whole point of this channel. If you're new here, I am on YouTube documenting my journey to reach financial independence and retire early. So overtime is good. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into my September 2021 budget review / financial spending confession. All right, here we are. Y'all can see that I like to use Google Sheets for my budgets every month, and I do black out some income sources for privacy. I don't show my individual paychecks, but I do show my totals at the bottom. When I set up my budgets every month, I plan what I'm going to spend in column C, and then I fill in column D as the month goes on. This is what actually happens in the month, so this is what we're focusing on in my budget reviews. So starting at the top here, my net income, I had planned on bringing in about $6,123.53 for the month, but I brought in just under $6,800 and some extra money that came in for me. I always show when I do get a YouTube paycheck, so that is what AdSense is. And Chase redemption. If y'all have been with me for a while, then you know that my primary credit card that I use is my Chase Sapphire Preferred. I use that to bank travel points and then redeem them at some future date for travel expenses. Well, I have actually decided to change my primary credit card, and I will get more into that as we get down into the budget, but I had about 42,000 points left with Chase, and that would have been an amount that I could redeem for about $500 towards another plane ticket, for instance, if I wanted to travel. But I'm not going to use this card as my primary card anymore, and because it has a $95 annual fee, I'm going to go ahead and close it down. So I wanted to go ahead and redeem those points and put that money to use somewhere. Now, I am not closing this card because I don't like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but if I'm not going to use it as my primary card, then I don't want to keep paying an annual fee for nothing, right? And this is still a wonderful, wonderful card if you are into travel hacking. If you like to play that game where you hunt down the deals and you don't mind transferring your points over to different flight carriers and hunting down the deals yourself, the Chase Sapphire Preferred is one of the best cards you can use for travel hacking. That is why I have a referral link in the description box below for it. I'm not sure if that will stay active after I close this account, but yeah, I am not closing it because I don't think this is a good card, so don't think that, but we'll get into the details of why I am closing that in just a minute. Moving down into my bills and spending category. Damn, you know it's a bad month whenever it takes up the entire screen on my video. I don't like it when my spending gets out of control, and really guys, this month it was out of control. I'll just call a spade, it was what it was. Starting at the top here, my mortgage payment every month is $536. That was on target. I budgeted $100 for my power bill, and that came in under at about $90. I budgeted $40 for my water bill. That one usually comes in around $32, $33. This month it was $29.48, so that was nice. It was under. My Starlink internet is $99 every month. That was on target. My gas bill, I am still trying to figure out how much I'm going to need to budget for gas for my new car because it is less efficient than my old hybrid I had. Gas is going up, and I am picking up extra shifts at work. My extra shifts have actually started this week. I'm not working every single night yet. That doesn't start until October 5th, but I am working some extra shifts this week as well. So yeah, between all of that, I know that my gas bill needs to go up every month, but I don't know if I need to up it to $200 or $250. And considering I'm going to be in a hotel room for a couple of months, I really don't know still where my gas bill for a usual month needs to be, but whatever. I budgeted $150 this month, and I came in at almost $240 for gas. My gym membership was right on target at $23.06. My ARDMS here, this is an annual fee that I pay to be a member of the American Registry for Diagnostic Medical Sonographers. That is what I am. I'm an ultrasound tech, and I have to pay $85 a year to maintain my registry with the ARDMS. So that was right on target. And here's where the wheels started to fall off the wagon. As usual, I have gone over in my groceries and household category. I budget $400 a month for that. It includes anything food-wise, any eating out, anything for the house as far as household supplies, any personal care items, any alcohol, anything for Rollo, plus groceries. So it tends to be a catch-all category. I always tend to go over on this budget, but I really blew it this month. I budgeted $400 and I came in at $712.81. Why did I completely screw up my grocery budget this month? Several things. One being grocery prices are just up in general, but another being, if you could run out of it, I ran out of it this month. Do y'all ever have months like that where you feel like you're running out of all of your staples at the same time and you're spending more than you might normally would just trying to restock? That was part of it. Also, I got sucked into some good deals at Aldi. I know if you're an Aldi shopper like me and you see those $2 off stickers on things, then you want to stock up and get a big supply. Well, I saw that Aldi was having a pretty good meat sale one day when I went there. They had some salmon on sale. They had their New York strip steaks on sale, and they had some grass-fed ground pork on sale as well. I have already eaten a couple of the steaks. I think I bought like 6 of those, and even though they were $2 off a piece, they were still over $10 each to buy. So that ended up being a big expense. And also, I think the biggest thing that made me go over in this budget this month was that not all of this spending is actually for groceries for this month, because I am going to be spending so much time in the hotel for the next couple of months, working every single night at my job. I needed to get some extra food in order to meal prep for me some. So that is what some of this spending is as well. I spent last weekend doing a whole lot of meal prepping and putting meals in the freezer, so that way I would be prepared somewhat for my upcoming crazy work schedule. Next after that, Shutterfly. If y'all are not aware of Shutterfly, you should look them up. They are a nice little company that will print unlimited 4x6 photos for you for free. The only thing that you have to pay for is shipping to have them delivered to your house. So I went to Sweden last month in August, and I wanted to print all of those pictures that I had from my trip. And I also got some other things too from the trip. I made a phone case because my phone case that I had for my phone was actually melted. I set it in the cup holder of my lawnmower when I was mowing the grass outside so I could listen to music. It bounced out of the cup holder, landed on the back of the mower, and started to melt my old phone case that I had. So I needed a new phone case anyway. And I did also get a keychain and a luggage tag too. So I spent a little bit of money at Shutterfly as well, but I really love using them to print out all of my pictures that I keep piling up on my phone. It's nice to have them printed for free and you just pay the shipping. They come right to your door. And I have decided that with my Sweden trip, instead of just throwing those pictures in an album, I would really like to get into scrapbooking and give that a try. And unfortunately, the only supplies that I had here as far as scrapbooking goes would be probably a pair of scissors, and that was it. So I don't know if you are into that hobby of scrapbooking, but if you are, then you know there's a cost associated with it. And I did go to Hobby Lobby and I ended up picking up a lot of scrapbooking supplies to try and give it a shot. I hope that I end up being halfway decent at it, because if not, then you know, I spent almost $70 at Hobby Lobby for scrapbooking supplies, and I may end up just having to throw all those pictures in a regular album if I suck at scrapbooking. We'll find out. Next on the list, Scott's Cheap Flights. All right, so this is kind of why I have decided to change the main credit card that I am using. I kept seeing advertisements for Scott's Cheap Flights on my Facebook feed. I had seen them mentioned in some of the Financial Independence Retire Early groups that I am in on Facebook as well. People love this company. What they do is you tell them what airports that you want them to keep an eye on that are around you, and they will search those airports for the best deals for traveling that they can find. You can tell them where you want to go, but they'll also send you good deals just anywhere from the airports that you tell them to monitor. And they'll let you know about these deals in advance, so that way you can plan a trip and really save a ton of money on the airfare. So for instance, I am really interested in going to Sweden, right? I want to go back there at some point, and they sent me an email recently that had flights going to Scandinavia. It was less than $500 for a round trip ticket. That is insane. And I can do a search and look for flights leaving out of Charlotte or from Asheville, for instance, because it's a little closer to me, or even Raleigh. And those were still about $500 during this time frame that they said there, you know, was a good deal for flying to Scandinavia if I wanted to go. And I started thinking about it. And when I went to Sweden last month, I ended up paying for my plane ticket with my points that I had on my Chase Sapphire card. Yes, but the price for the ticket was $740, which I still feel like was a good deal, and it was compared to what flights usually are to Scandinavia. But when I really started thinking about it, when it comes to me traveling, I am pretty time flexible as long as I have enough notice. I can travel whenever, as long as I give my work enough notice that I need the time off. But what I can't do is constantly search all of these airports looking for the best deals and the best time to go. That would take too much time. So I felt like for the $199 annual fee, it would be better for me to be a member of Scott's Cheap Flights, let them keep an eye out on all the travel deals for me and send them to me when they find something good, and pick a different credit card to use, so that way I am not paying the $95 annual fee for my Chase Sapphire card. So I'm paying Scott's Cheap Flights $200 a year, but I'm not paying the Sapphire preferred fee anymore of $100 a year. So literally the very first time that I use this Scott's Cheap Flights service, it's going to pay for itself. If I use this one time a year, it will pay for itself. So I am more than okay paying this fee and having them tell me when the good deals are, because I'm going to be traveling back and forth to Sweden as much as I can. So this is worth it to me. So that is the Scott's Cheap Flights expense. And even though there is a specific place that I want to travel a lot to right now, Sweden, once I fire, I figure that this is still going to be a great service to have whenever I am free to travel wherever and whenever I want. So I'm excited for this. I really do think it is going to pay for itself the very first time I use it. And let's talk about the credit card that I have decided to go with to replace my primary Chase Sapphire Preferred.
All right,
I am switching to the Fidelity Cashback Rewards card. There is no referral program for this. I did look for one. I asked just to be sure. So I can't give you guys a referral for this in the description box below, but if you have a Fidelity account, this may be a good card for you to look into. What it does is give you an unlimited 2% cash back on all of your purchases, and at the end of the month, it will automatically direct that 2% cash back into the Fidelity account of your choice. So for me, I thought to myself, this is going to be an excellent way for me to continue to invest, even though right now I am focusing more on debt payoff. And for me, because I also am into options trading a little bit, this 2% cashback that I get put back into my Fidelity account, I can use that for my options trading and get a further return above and beyond that 2%. Whenever this money is deposited into my Fidelity account, I will just use that as a buffer. I keep my emergency fund in Fidelity, but I do use that for options trading as well. I can get that money if I need it for a real emergency, but until then, I get a better return on that cash using it for options trading rather than just letting it sit in a high yield savings account earning 0.4% interest or whatever paltry interest rate it is nowadays. So I figure using this 2% cashback rewards card will simultaneously slowly build up my emergency fund. I'll have a bigger buffer, but until I actually need to use that buffer for something, I can use that extra money for my options trading, and that way I still feel like I am able to invest and grow my wealth, even though I am trying to focus on debt payoff right now. So that is the card that I went with. Again, if y'all have a Fidelity account, it might be a good one for you guys to look into. There is no annual fee with it. The only gripe I have about that card is that they do charge an international transaction fee of 1%. So my Chase Sapphire card had no international transaction fees, which was nice when I do travel, but the Fidelity card does charge a 1% transaction fee, but you still get 2% back for every transaction. So, I mean, technically it's a net gain of 1% on all of my international transactions. So I will overlook that 1% transaction fee for foreign transactions, but overall, I'm excited to get that card in and make the switch, and then that way I can start seeing my Fidelity account at least grow a little bit while I am still trying to focus on getting my debt paid off. All right, moving on down here in my bills and spending section. Next, we see scrubs here. With me doing ultrasound for a living like I do, and me starting to soon work 7 nights a week, 12-hour shifts, I decided that I needed some new scrubs. I had 3 sets of scrubs that I bought when I first got hired with my company I work for now, back in 2016. You guys, those scrubs were getting threadbare. Some of the seams were starting to tear in them. It has been time to replace those scrubs, but I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, trying to stretch them out as much as I could. They're faded, they're a little bit stained in some places. It was really time to get some new scrubs, so I just bit the bullet and went ahead and spent the money this month. I didn't plan for it ahead of time, obviously, but I spent about $340 getting 7 sets of new scrubs for me to wear to work. So now, with me working my crazy shifts coming up, I will only have to wash my scrubs once a week instead of only having 3 sets of scrubs and having to do laundry at least twice a week, right? So that was an expense that I didn't plan for ahead of time. I didn't plan for the Scott's cheap flights either. Y'all can see how things just slowly start to add up here whenever you start getting a little too spendy. Next, new purse. Y'all know I am not a purse kind of girl. I have one purse. That is it. The purse that I had broke, so I went to Belk and bought a new one. Purses are expensive, $65 for my new purse, but it should last me for a while. I spent a little bit more than what I usually do on purses. I will usually just buy a little cheap Walmart purse for $10, but hopefully this one will last me a little bit longer. Next, Lowe's. Again, this was not a planned ahead purchase, but I am a little bit proud of myself for doing this project that I did at the house. If y'all follow me on Instagram, then you may have seen this project. There is something that I have discovered about whenever I'm feeling a little bit down, I have some unhealthy coping mechanisms like everyone does, I am sure, but one of the arguably healthy things that I do is I go into nesting mode, and I decided that since I had a bunch of rock delivered to my house last month, in order to finish an outside project I have going on here, I have 10 tons of rock that I have to move myself to finish this project. I decided that I was going to upgrade my shower. I have wanted for a long time to have a rain shower type shower head, and I hadn't done the project because I thought that I was going to have to pay someone to switch out all of my fixtures in my shower. Well, you can do this yourself, and I actually ended up doing this myself, guys. I watched a couple YouTube videos. I went and got the stuff that I needed from Lowe's. Some of the stuff. They didn't actually have the rain shower head set that I wanted at Lowe's, so I ended up having to spend some money on Amazon to get the one that I wanted. But I am very proud to say that I actually switched out all of the shower fixtures and the shower curtain rod as well to a new rain shower head fixture for me, and everything matches now in the bathroom. I had paid somebody to put in new towel holders for me and new fixtures in my bathroom sink that were bronze, but everything in my shower was still chrome, and it just kind of looked weird, and it has bugged me for months. But I'm now happy to say that everything in my bathroom matches, and I did that shower project myself, but it did cost me some money, y'all. So I spent $275.31 getting supplies at Lowe's. They didn't have the exact rain shower head set up that I wanted, so I looked around on Amazon and ordered what I wanted off of Amazon. That was a huge chunk of this $537.01. The rest of this $537 was, some of it was some more supplies for my scrapbooking. And also, I decided to do another kind of small project around here that has been bugging me for a long time, that I decided to just go ahead and bite the bullet and do it while I was apparently hemorrhaging cash this month. Admittedly, I have been a very casual recycler, and I wanted to be better about that, you guys. So I decided that I was going to start recycling better, but to do that, I wanted to get a different trash can that was sectioned off into two sides so that I could separate my recycling from my regular garbage, right? I looked and looked and looked on Amazon for a trash can that would serve this purpose, that was not crazy expensive, but the least expensive one that I found that would look halfway decent was $150. So whatever, I bought that trash can. I'm happy with it. It serves the purpose that I need, and it matches the rest of my kitchen, so I'm happy with it, but that was a big expense. And then also I did spend $60 to get me a composting bin, so that way I can start composting my food waste here at home as well. So I'm doing a lot better as far as my recycling goes, and that just makes me feel better as a human. So that was worth the extra expense to go ahead and get started doing that. But overall, it made my Amazon bill this month crazy high once again, $540 at Amazon in September. Next after that, this health and wellness. I was getting low on one of my thyroid supplements that I take, and they were out of stock on Amazon. So I had to order from this company called Health and Wellness, and I was actually noticing that they were out of stock on my holistic doctor's website as well. So I don't know if there's just some supply chain issues going on with this thyroid supplement that I need, but because it was out of stock in a couple of places, I went ahead and ordered like 4 bottles of it from this health and wellness store and paid $160 for that, so that way I can have it on hand because I really need that to help with my thyroid. And lastly here, lawnmower and lawnmower repair. I mentioned this at the end of August. I bought a lawnmower that was used off of Facebook Marketplace, and I put it on September's budget because I knew I would be paying it off in September. So this was a very nice mower that I found on Facebook Marketplace, but I did have to pay to fix it this month. I used it a few times and the belt broke on the cutting deck for the mower. So I paid $1,675 for this mower off of Facebook Marketplace. But y'all, that was an excellent deal. This mower, brand new, if I had gone to Lowe's and decided to buy this mower, it would have been over $3,000. So I am excited for the deal that I got. It does cut well. Even though the belt broke, I am just going to assume that that was a fluke thing. And thankfully, I had a guy come out this week that repaired that for me. He also changed my oil and sharpened my blades so that basically my mower is ready to go as far as finishing out this season, and it should be ready to go come next season whenever I have to start mowing again. And he charged me $195 to come out and do all of that to the mower. So grand total here, even with doing a few repairs to the mower, I still spent way less buying it used off of Facebook Marketplace than I would have spent if I had gone and bought it brand new at Lowe's. And that covers it for the bills and spending section of the September budget. Like I said, thank goodness that this was a 3 paycheck month for me, because this just ended up being a month where I spent and spent and spent, and sometimes I knew that I was spending and I probably shouldn't. I should probably slow down a little bit, but it happened. And then there were also things that were happening that were out of my control, like my lawnmower breaking, for instance, like not being able to find the thyroid meds that I need. You know, little expenses add up over time, and September was just a great example of that. So my totals for this section, y'all can see I had planned on spending about $3,100, and I actually spent $5,365.16 for the month of September. Holy shit. Let's get out of this section and move down into my debt section. So I have 2 debts left. I have my student loans and I have my new car that I bought a few months ago. Now, when I set up this September budget, the plan at the time was for me to aggressively pay off my car debt. But if you watched that October budget setup video, I go into detail there, but the plan has changed. I am now going to be making my minimum payments on my debts for the next 3 months while I am working my crazy 7 nights a week work shifts, and I am going to be gathering up all of the extra cash that I can over the next 3 months. And then come the end of December, I'll take a look at how much extra I have, and I am hoping that I will have enough to completely pay off my student loans and just get them gone. And not only that, but I'm hoping I'll have enough extra left over that I'll be able to save $6,000, put that aside for my Roth IRA in 2022. So since my debt payoff plans have changed a little bit here, I did not put $2,500 towards my car payment in September. I only paid the minimum, which the minimum is $492 or $493. I just round that up to $500. And my student loans, that payment comes out automatically of my checking every month, and that was $474.43 there. Let's take a quick look at where those debts currently stand as of these payments that I made this month. All right, here it is. We are looking at my debt breakdown section in October, because this is where my debts will stand as of October 1st. So y'all can see my student loans. I have just about $15,000 even left on them. I owe $15,230.11. I have a variable interest rate, but right now it is super low at 1.97%. So of the $475-ish that I pay every month, the vast majority of that goes to principal for my student loans. I lose very little to interest. Same thing for my car. My interest rate on my car is a fixed interest rate. It's only 1.98%, but I do owe quite a bit more on my car since I bought it new recently. I owe $32,437.63 on my car. But again, most of the $500 payment that I do make goes towards the principal of the car every month. So grand total here, my debt is now less than $50,000. I owe $47,667.74 in non-mortgage debt. My mortgage payment will actually come out of my checking tomorrow, so I don't have an updated balance for my mortgage, you guys. Sorry about that. But I owe about $96,000 on my mortgage here. So yeah, y'all can see if all goes to plan with my crazy work schedule that I'm doing for a couple of months, and I can get these student loans completely gone in the next 2 or 3 months, that $475 that I put at my student loans would be a great help as far as getting down the debt on my car. And that would be compounded by the fact if I can get my student loans paid off and also set aside $6,000 for my Roth IRA in 2022. That means I won't have to be saving back money for that come 2022, so I can throw all of that money at the car debt as well, and we can actually start making some real progress on this car debt in 2022. In fact, if I can get my student loans paid off and save enough for my Roth ahead of time before 2022 gets here, I'm going to make it my goal in 2022 to get this car entirely paid off in 2022. That's going to be some massive payments every month, but if I stay dedicated, I think I can actually accomplish that in 2022. And that means that come 2023, I will have no debts left except for my mortgage, and I can really start focusing on getting my savings rate up, which will be wonderful. So speaking of savings rate, we will move down into my favorite section of my budget, my investing and fire tracking section. This is where I keep track of all of my different investing accounts that I have. But y'all can see that since I have been wanting to focus on debt, this section is pretty blank, and it has been for a while. I have a taxable brokerage account with M1 Finance and Fidelity. I did not plan on sending any money to them in September. I did not throw any extra money to them in September, but I guess once I get my Fidelity cashback card, I will start tracking how much of that cashback goes into the Fidelity account every month at the end of the month. So that will be nice to see. I'll be glad to see something going to one of these accounts. The only account that I am contributing to right now is my employer sponsored retirement account, my 403B at work. And with this being a 3 paycheck month, I knew that there would be more than what usually goes into my 403B this month. I thought it would be about $500. It ended up being $620.11. And I also like to keep track of my employer match because that is money that is going to come to me eventually to use, and I thought their portion would be about $300 this month. It ended up being $354.35. So in total here for September, $974.46 went to investing for me. And even though I feel like I am not doing as much investing as I would like, this is not nothing. So I am happy to have almost $1,000 go towards investing this month, despite all of the spending that I have done and despite me not contributing to my own taxable brokerages that I have. My Roth IRA for 2021, thankfully, is already maxed out, so I couldn't contribute anything to that even if I wanted to. So my totals at the bottom down here, y'all can see it does leave me a little bit of money left over this month. I am just going to add that to my wad of cash for working all these extra shifts and roll that into the next month. So I will throw that into October's budget. We'll see how much money I have left over come the end of October. This column E over here, if you're wondering, is the current balances in all of these accounts that I have, and the market is in a little bit of a downturn right now. Earlier in September, I did cross the $140,000 mark for my portfolio, but right now it's currently down a little bit. It's sitting around $135,000. And last but not least, let's take a look at my savings rate for the month. For my savings rate, the way that I like to calculate it, I do not include any debt payments into the savings rate. I purely want to know how much money of mine is going towards investing for me to live off of in the future when I retire early. So I only keep track of things that are in this savings and investing category. So with me focusing more on debt at the moment, my savings rate is not as high as I would like it to be, but still 12.5% is not nothing. That is okay while I am focusing on debt for the moment, but I cannot wait to see what this savings rate is. If I am able to get completely debt-free by the end of 2022 and start 2023 with no debt whatsoever, I cannot wait to see what this savings rate is every single month starting in 2023. I am suspecting that it will easily be about 60% at least, hopefully 70% or more. We'll see when we get there. And my Am I Fi Yet number, this is my Am I Financially Independent Yet? And right now my goal is to get to 1.2 million invested. So with a portfolio value of 135,000, I am about 11% of the way to that goal. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this one. I knew it was going to be a long one, but I'm glad I was able to get it filmed before I have to leave for work tonight. September was not a great month. I just spent too much, you guys. There were things that I wanted to do around here. There were things that I wanted to do that I didn't technically have to do, but I did them anyway. There were things that broke. There were large expenses. It just was a spendy month. So again, I think that working for 2 straight months may end up being a good thing for me. I will not be doing projects around the house. I am going to use this couple of months of working just to detox from spending as much as I can. And then whenever my crazy work schedule is over and I come up for air in December, we'll see how much extra money I have and what I can use all of that extra money for. I know what I have in mind. Y'all know what I have in mind. I'm hoping that I will have enough to be able to get my student loans gone and also have my Roth IRA ready to go for 2022. Stay tuned, we'll find out. I will keep trying to post to YouTube as much as I possibly can, even while I'm staying in the hotel room. So if you have not yet, scroll down, click that subscribe button, tap the bell notification, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to upload to YouTube. But if you have the bell notification turned on, then it will tell you whenever I get a video up. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will catch y'all in my next one. See you guys.